Well.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. Series Don't Know the Number,
Mm.
actually, of Homo sapiens.
What a treat.
I teased who it would be, but now I can reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, and those who define as neither, welcome Tom Allen to the hot seat.
Thank you, Chris.
Tom's in his beautiful sitting room, is looking lovely because we had discussed the mustard on the wall. Was it mustard?
I think it's Sudbury yellow, but
Mm-hmm.
do with that what you will.
I'm not taking any prisoners. Oh, would you say it's similar to my t-shirt then?
Yes. Oh, and there's the bell.
Beautiful. Is that a grandfather clock?
It is. I bought it for myself for my 40th birthday.
That's lovely. Where did you get it then?
I got it from a shop called Pendulums. I said, "What's the cheapest one you've got?" Because my life has been basically me trying to copy copy the life of posh people, because I'm not from as I've often said, I'm not from a posh background. I'm from quite a very normal background in very normal, boring suburbia, and I've always sort of seen myself as something slightly grander than I am. I've always had ideas above my station, you might say. So what I try to do in the house is recreate things that I've noticed posh people have, and I've noticed they often have a grandfather or indeed grandmother clock.
But there's something in, I think there's something in sort of gayness, I suppose. But
there's never a gay uncle clock, is there? There should be.
They're
important in the family.
Yes, the eternal bachelor clock. There's a history of that, isn't it? Sort of remixing old school, and often in those big classic novels, there's always sort of, in those big country houses, there's always like a gay character who is not from the aristocracy but is their friend. I've always loved those kind of old things and having those old things around me, and sort of there's something about a polite atmosphere. It feels like a sanctuary away from.
I've always felt, and maybe this chimes in, forgive the pun, with what you were just saying. I think growing up, I felt very alienated, particularly at secondary school. I think I felt, or actually, no, at primary school as well. I think I just felt very, I was very unusual. I knew I was different. And I think I took solace in a kind of idea of fantasy. And I think a lot of, I wonder if a lot of queer people can relate to that. And I think I started to, rather than feeling like I was a loner, I was like, well, maybe I'm going to make myself even more of a loner and live in my own kind of it's a very kind of convoluted way of doing it. But I wonder if a lot of queer people do that. I think historically as well, I'm thinking of some older queer people, I think, that have enjoyed the kind of theatricality of whether it's interiors or just general taste, enjoying, for example, a trip to the opera or something kind of quite elevated, which might not be their usual, considering it might not be their usual family's thing to do.
Well, we're also talking about glamour, aren't we?
Well, I guess we are.
The queers love glamour.
Queers love glamour. So true, Chris.
Have you been to that place? I wonder if you've been. If not, I'm taking you. The umbrella. Is it the umbrella shop?
Jay Smith. I've bought his umbrellas, of course.
Is that what it's called? The one in Holborn or something?
Yes.
It's the most beautiful shop. Hang on, let me just let the dog in. It's the most beautiful shop. It's like, so what's it called? Jay Smith?
Jay Smith, I think, or James Smith? At the bottom of Gower Street. A lovely place.
No, what is it? Lock? What's the Lock one?
That's the Hatters on Piccadilly.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where I went to buy my top hat. That was my other 40th birthday present to myself.
I love it.
My silk top hat, which I put on the house insurance because I loved it so much. And the people at the end of the phone openly laughed.
Yeah, most people are like adding their Nintendo N64.
Oh, yeah. Not I.
The dog's joining. Sorry, everybody.
Oh.
Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What is your doggy's name?
Ridley.
Yeah. Lovely.
Wee Ridley. Okay, Ridley, would you like to open the polls from the list? Shall we have a look at this? These questions our lovely listeners have answered for us. So the thing that someone sent in is gay friendship. Why can it seem hard to find good friends within the community was the question that they
Mhm.
wanted us to discuss on the podcast. So I've thrown it open on the socials with a Z. Do you find it hard to make friends within the community?
74% said, I do.
Mm.
They do find it hard to make friends within the community. And I think that's very interesting. I think it speaks to the heart of what it is to be a queer person, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, who was your first queer friend?
Um, I had a lot of straight friends who were obviously very kind of queer friendly in their ways. So I think that
Mm.
was a big part of it. And then I made friends of friends, really, I think. So do you mean like I made so I can't remember who my first queer friend was. Who was yours?
It was my friend Andy, and
Oh,
we met at school when we were 9.
oh,
We're still friends now,
yeah.
but I came out when I was 19, and then the next day he came round to my house and was like, "Oh god, I'm gay too." So then we
Sounds like a
embarked.
sequel, doesn't it? I'm gay too.
Yeah, yeah. So then,
Mm.
we did what all gay people do, is we had sex. No, I'm joking.
I thought maybe that was where this was going, actually. I was like, gosh, you don't waste time in Wimbledon, do you?
No, it's like it sounded like that's why I was warming up for us. I was like, "Why are you making it sound like you slept with each other?" We've never Andy is astonishingly handsome, however,
Oh, more fool you.
we have n I know, more for me. He's that friend you take out with you, and everyone's like, "Who is your friend?"
Oh,
You know what I mean? So anyway, we sort of then were thick as thieves and took on the whole gay world together, which meant actually we didn't really extend our friendship circle
you've
at
got friends, you
all.
don't need more. Yeah.
We had one, do you know what I mean? And actually we were 19, so everyone was kinda older than us. So that was my first friend. And then we asked, "Okay, if you do find it hard, why?" And then I put 3 options, and then I gave you a box to write something. So, meeting people revolves around partying, 38% of you said
But
that's why
I
it's
was
hard.
going to say, I think it's because so many gay places, queer places, are like bars that play loud music, and you can't hear each other over that. And I do think
I
that's
know.
actually a problem. I mean,
Oh my god, yes,
again,
absolutely,
turn down the music. We can all talk.
absolutely.
But people I've known in older queer people talk about like living in, for example, Ibiza in the 70s and 80s when there were nightclubs. But nightclubs were like a place where you'd have like maybe a dance floor, but you'd also have a space where you just you just stand around the bar and talk to people. And I think
Yeah.
we don't have that. Well, I didn't have that when I was a younger gay. I didn't have that kind of convivial pub atmosphere. It was just like, sometimes I
Well,
feel like lights from my hands or
oh,
whatever.
the dream. I mean, I was dancing, but I think it's also I think what's going on here is a lot of people are also saying they don't wanna go out drinking,
For
and
sure.
well, like, if you go to Adonis or, um, Roast, I'll flag I've never been to either.
Well,
Uh,
I don't know what either of those things are.
so they're like big ticketed gay events.
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
On the one's during the day on the Sunday.
Uh,
But, like, I think, listeners write in, hello@homosapienspodcast.com and illuminate me. But,
mm,
basically, I see it all my friends online going, and it's like, I don't know how you would meet someone there. But I don't know, people write in, tell me if I'm right or wrong. But anyway, 38% of you said that. Second one, gays aren't nice to each other,
oh,
was 29% of you said that you think it's because gays aren't nice to each
oh
other.
dear.
29% of you said you're too shy.
Oh,
Like, I'm having a different version right now, which is like, so we've had 2 children since I've been gone. Tom and I have not had 2 children, just for clarity. My husband and I, William, have
as I say, you
and
don't waste time in Wimbledon.
but,
During this podcast, we've managed to adopt 2 children. Amazing. Extraordinary.
that's why we went video.
That's video podcasting for you.
But then, so our kids are at nursery and all that jazz, so we're having to, like, make nursery friends, and it's like we're having to do that and go up to people
Mm,
and be like, "Hi," and William is absolutely just not that person, and I'm like, "Go on, go and say hi," or, like, I also find it relatively easy. So he's like, "You do it, you find it easy." So I just go up and talk to people, but it is having to meet people all over again. It's like, you don't do that. Once you
mm.
find your mates, you kind of don't have to do that.
Well, I just found it impossible, the idea of going up to people and saying hello or interacting with people. I always felt too self-conscious, whether I would have felt that anyway as a if I'd not
Mm.
been a queer person, I don't know. But I definitely have, and had felt. Now I wouldn't mind. I just sort of wouldn't care so much. But I suppose that's one of the nice things about being a bit older.
And also going up and saying hello essentially is saying, "I'd like to have sex with you." Like, it comes with a subtext, does it not?
I guess so. I mean, I don't
Uh,
think it did. I don't. People who did that to me were usually saying, "Get out of my. Can you get out of my way?" Um,
Your top hat is blocking my view.
I can't see Christina Aguilera. Um, so
The drag Christina Aguilera.
I think I think I have, you know, and I love as I've gotten older, I felt that I've made more connections, and I love that, and I love the friends I've made and the people I've met.
But you're so rude about them, I don't
I'm so
understand.
rude about them all the time, but that's part of my endearing charm. But but what I do echo what because it's all very well saying like, oh, everything's great, but I do think that's an important stat on the bar chart there because
Mm.
we've all experienced mean gays. Mean
Yeah.
gays, and I know it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Um,
Mm.
and they don't have to be just gays, but meanies when you sort of try and just be like easygoing and fun and friendly, like
Mm.
hello, how are you? And they just stare at you like you are not somebody they want to talk to. I think it's particularly the case in London because if you go outside of London, people are a lot nicer.
I've gotta say, like, I love not living in London anymore, how much nicer everyone is. Yeah.
London encourages people to be, let's say, defensive, I think. And rightly so.
Yeah.
But I think, or not rightly so, but like, I get it. But
Oh, fuck 'em.
yeah,
Uh,
but do you know what I mean by that, though, Chris? Am I
yeah.
like those kind of mean gays? Often they worked in the media, but not always. Particularly people you know. Um, they are I'm always with you when I meet them. But anyway, um,
My mum always does that. She'll always drop in the shadiest thing at the end of a sentence in a sort of very confused way, be like, "It's not me with you." But anyway, and you're like, "Whoa." Uh,
well, but that's fine because it's not to people's faces. But I have experienced it where, and I remember feeling as a young person like my confidence would be crushed because I
mm,
couldn't make friends with people. I didn't know how to connect with people, and people then, if I tried to be nice, they'd sort of be like really kind of standoffish and kind of dismissive. Did you experience
mm.
that, or was that another thing that was put me in cold isolation?
No, I absolutely did, and I remember so clearly going into queer spaces for the first time, and everyone had, me just disappearing into a whole
Mm,
self-absorbed free fall of like everyone's so good looking, everyone knows what they're doing, everyone's got amazing muscly bodies, and I feel like a lost kid from Wimbledon. You know what I mean?
mm.
And but then I would also just kind of bite the bullet and go and say hi to people, and
Would you?
and then yeah,
Oh,
but then
lovely.
I would also I remember shaking once talking to this guy who I really fancied,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was like, you don't have to be nervous. And I was so frustrated that he'd spotted that I was scared. But I think now, I didn't feel this at the time, but now I do think it's that, like you just said, it's that old adage of it's them, not you. And if you go out and put yourself forwards and are nice, and assuming you want to be in one of those kind of spaces, um, I think you just have to accept that some people you're not their thing. Let's have a look at some of what other people said.
Let's have a look at the data, as they'd say in America.
Robert says it can also be hard making friends when there's often an assumption that one or both of you want sex. Well, funnily enough, I just said that, Robert, interestingly.
Yeah, we said that, Robert.
Yeah, yeah.
Suddenly we're the mean gays. You see?
I have a disability and don't fit in with most of the LGBTQ culture. Well, that's it. I mean, accessibility is terrible. But I will say, so the Joiners Arms pub, it was a pub in Hackney, and I know this is London centric to say, but
Mm,
there's a pub in Hackney. It was called the Joiners
mm.
Arms. It shut down. I literally saw that they have now got a space which is going to be fully disabled access.
Wonderful.
And someone said, which I thought was interesting, Tom, I used to find it hard, but then I joined some awesome local clubs.
Ah, that's lovely. Mm.
I love a club.
I wish I'd had the courage to join to join a football or rugby club, even though I don't play either of those games really. Or some, do you know what I mean? Or some sort of like
Mm.
ping pong association or something. Because I just think that you meet people that way, don't you? Or even just doing I don't know, something, some sort of volunteering, but I just didn't have the confidence.
Yeah, I think it's and there's a lot of more of that stuff. There's a gay book club that I saw on Instagram that's doing really well. There's Get Gains, Gayns, that started by an ex Barry's Bootcamp instructor who I used to have all the time. I've forgotten his name. He's lovely. And that's got loads of queers out doing things, and it's not based around alcohol.
And are the boots still camp? That's what I want to know.
And so, did you want to play rugby and football?
No, but well, I don't know. I might have quite enjoyed it, but I think I've met people in latter years who've been part of that sort of organization, and straight people who are part of those sort of organizations, of course, as well. And you realize that fraternity is a really nice way to meet people, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I think as well, and I don't know if this is even still the case now, but I feel like when I was younger, I felt like I was different to the people around me, so I had to step into the queer community on my own. Which do you know what I mean by that? Like and I was very scared of coming out, which I'd hope would be not the case as much as often, but now, but I don't know, of course, because I haven't met everybody in the world. But
Sure.
I remember going to like bars on my own and not knowing what to do, or just sort of standing at the bar and just kind of.
That's incredible. Tell me about the first time you ever went to a bar on your own.
Well, the first time I just sort of walked round and around the block and didn't have the guts to go in.
Yeah.
Then I did go in and just sort of got a drink and sort of stood.
What was the bar? No, because loads of my friends did that.
Or just sit in the corner or try and look confident, or I think it was somewhere like Retro Bar or something like that, I think.
So you're in Retro Bar, and then you stand at the bar and you're pretending that you know someone or you're waiting for someone?
That kind of thing. Did you do that?
Absolutely. So I would get my, like, straight friends or whatever to come with me for a drink, and they wouldn't wanna stay for any longer.
Right.
So they would go and I would stay,
Yeah.
and then I would just pretend to other people that my friends were still over there somewhere.
And that's, I
Mhm.
suppose, that was the great strength of those magazines.
Yes.
All those thrilling articles that they would put in them.
Now, Thomas, do you want to read the next one?
I'd love to. Is queer friendship different from straight friendship? And Chris posed this question across an image of a rambling rose.
Because I forgot to take a photo of my face. So I was like, "Oh, fuck." So I just did photos of it.
No,
I
I
took
like
photos.
it on Instagram stories. It's a beautiful, beautiful
Do you
backdrop,
like?
and I like the fact that you've left in. I've got a bit of a thing. I quite like a sort of faded flower. You know, there's a little bit of a.
Dead
Quite,
flower, yeah.
yeah, I quite like that. I think it's all part of the cycle. Is queer friendship different from straight? Well, let me tell you, 85% of our survey said yes.
Really?
Only 15% said no.
What do you think?
Well, I suppose it's like any friendship, isn't it? It's like you've got something in common. You can talk about, you have that shorthand, don't you? You can talk about that experience. And I do feel as well, when I get to meet other queer people, it is always lovely to have the kind of like easygoing chat.
Yeah, I find it very soothing. And when I was working in Australia, I think it's quite interesting about making film and TV is like it's actually quite straight. Like there's 300 people on set, and I would say most people are straight.
For sure.
Where you might think that it's quite gay
No.
or queer. And so I used to say, because we were in Australia and I was there for like 9 months and maybe a bit less, but I used to say to Kat, my friend I was working with, I was like, I just need to go and be among my people. Like I need to go to a gay bar just to be around some gays for a bit because I couldn't talk to my gay best friends because when you're awake in Australia, everyone's asleep. So yeah, I do
Course.
think I get a very, very different thing from it. It should always be a mix, and not always be a mix like a rule, but I just think the mix is good, and it's good to not. I don't know, like it can all slightly turn in on itself in a spiral sometimes. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I think potentially, yeah. I think,
Well, for me anyway.
yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it is nice, yeah, to have a mix of people, and I think that is perhaps what the world is missing. Going back to my previous point, sorry to keep hammering it, but hammer in the morning, hammer in the evening.
Hammer in the morning.
All over the town. But I do think
Go on,
that,
Tom, jump on the piano. Give us a scene.
no, I can't subject you to that. But I think that talking to each other is so powerful, and I think mixing, as you say, is very powerful. and
Mm.
mixing with people we wouldn't normally mix with. I think having friends in our communities, in our in neighborhoods, in our people getting to know each other, hearing each other's stories, and then I mean I don't mean to be all smulchy about it, but I think it's very hard to
Still
be
on gardening. Don't want to be mulchy about it.
mulchy about it. Everything's gardening, isn't it? But I I just want to break down some leaves. Um, I also think that it's very hard to be mean about someone if you know them as a friend or a neighbor. There, and
Ah.
I know it's not the most profound thing anyone's ever said, but do you know what I mean? I think if you know somebody one on one, it's very difficult to hold a kind of uh, a blanket opinion or a simplistic opinion.
What well, yeah, to create an image of them in your head, which is nothing to do with to project an image of them.
Exactly, which I think a lot of tabloidy social media does.
Amen to that.
Did I get it
Um,
right? Did I say the
you
right
did.
thing? Am I here
You
right?
did indeed. Welcome.
Great.
Paul has a counter to what we're saying there. He
Oh, I
says,
don't like
"Hey,
disagreements, Paul.
okay, well, here we go. Hey, yes, my deepest and longest friendships are with straight people who all have to work hard to understand my perspective on so many things, exactly what you're saying. But my easiest are with some queer acquaintances who I don't ever have to explain myself to.
Mm.
Okay, I see. And who are already halfway there on topics I discuss. E.g., this is me adding, e.g., gardening, e.g., where the top hat shop is in London. My gay hairdresser and I have a quicker, deeper conversation than some of my friends of 20 years because we have that shared experience.
Definitely. I mean, there is that, isn't there? And that kind of shorthand, I suppose, isn't it? That we know what
Yeah.
it's like, and that you don't have to be like, why? Like, like just no, not just straight people, but some. If you have any eccentricities, a lot of people will be like, why? Why do you like that? Oh, it's boring. Like, but I feel like I'd feel more at
Yeah.
home saying in a group of queer people, oh, have you seen my begonias? Or something
Yeah.
like that. Or
Oh, my begonias have gone mad.
I've got to show you this. Look at this cushion I've just bought. Um,
Well, look, William just walked in straight away and started talking to you about gardening.
well, exactly. Whereas I think imagine our younger selves being in I don't know, one of those loud bars in Soho trying to make friends and being like, "Do you like gardening?" People be like, "Get away from me.
Pass me the lube and get away from
Get
me.
get away."
If you have locked down one of these friends, what kind of friend are you, Tom? Are you a needy friend? Do
Bad
you
friend.
expect birthday gifts?
No, I didn't expect gifts at all, actually.
Okay.
I just like I think a good friend never expects a speedy response on a text.
Okay,
I think a
good.
good friend, will just drop you a line every now and then, and you can just respond when you need. I
Yeah.
think so. I try and echo that. I try and be like that,
Mm,
and just try and listening is such a big part of it, isn't it? Which is quite nice if you're
yeah.
tired, because then they just do all the talking.
Are you good in a crisis with a friend? Are you the friend that people call?
No,
No. When they want
I
to
call
do Bonnet and gin, yes.
when they wanna, yeah, they wanna book a martini, they come around and see us. No, I know I like to think I am good in a crisis in some ways, and I've been aided by many good friends in my little ups and downs. But
Mm.
I think I am. I'd like to think I'm quite calm. Yeah. How about you?
I think of myself I think I'm a good friend, like, I think I'm quite a needy friend. I think I really sometimes overly deconstruct contact and when I have or not had contact. I know that when I was younger, I was very intense as a friend. Like, I used to phone my friends every night, and as a boy, calling boys, they're just not into it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Same.
So that was like a problem.
Mm.
People were like, "Ugh," and they didn't want to talk, and then I would call the girls, and then we'd chat.
I remember that.
But I really try and be a good friend, and I have a reminder of everyone's birthday in my calendar. I try and, I
Very
try and
good.
check in when, we're at that age where people's parents are ill and all that.
Mm.
I do really try.
Mm.
And I really try and evolve as I don't want to talk about my age every 7 minutes, but like, as you get older, your queerness evolves and people are finding new versions of their queerness and trying to sort of evolve that as well. And
Yeah.
some of my friends are having renaissances. Some of my friends are settling down, and and making sure that I'm still involved, and yeah, everybody changes, so I try.
Well, I love old friends where you can see each other through those changes as well. Like those old friends you don't see all the time. I like that.
That's what I mean. It's like I want to be able to evolve with people, and I also have friends who you never speak to, and then you do, and it's like it was. But do you have? You mentioned that you have. You made me think. You mentioned you've had friends who've helped you through something. Have you? Can you think of a time when a friend has really helped you through something? I was trying to think.
Well, I think the friends I mean, not to, I realize I talk about this quite a lot, but when my dad died, the
Mm,
friends who were sort of, and would check in, in a real, I felt like all my friends did it in various ways, but in various ways, in whatever way they felt comfortable to do it as well. But each moment of it was each type of support was so welcome,
mm,
and so I would say, yeah, that those friends and those people who just let me talk, or and sort of new
mm,
friends I made at that time as well, because we were sort of grief buddies. That was kind of
mm.
that was kind of nice.
What was useful to hear from friends around that time?
Do you want to get pissed?
Really?
Well, a bit, no. I mean, just checking in, just people going, "How are you?" Or just literally going, just checking in. You don't need to respond.
Mm, that's lovely.
And also people say, I do think this is a great kindness. Is no need to respond. Like, you don't need to respond. I think is a lovely thing. Uh,
Really, that's interesting. Yeah,
because
it,
I think it's very thoughtful.
William's really good at that. He's a really good friend in that way. And um, yeah, when my dad died, it's funny. Uh, it does really bring out certain things in people, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Or someone really ill or whatever. And I remember like the people who came to my dad's funeral, I was so touched who came, like changed plans, and you know what I mean? It
yeah,
was like, wow, it was very emotional to see that how deeply he meant what he meant to them, but
yeah,
it was really lovely.
yeah. I think those sort of friendships are really wonderful.
Tom, ever had a friend stick up for you that you can remember?
Lots of times, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a moment. Have you?
I remember we were out, so somehow ended up out at a strip club. It was many years ago. We were outside having a cigarette, and this guy I was with my friend, and this guy was like, "Why are you here?" Like, he'd basically worked out that I was gay and started having a go at me, going, "Are you gay?" Blah, 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 started shouting at me.
Worked out.
And
How did he possibly work that out?
obviously, it must have been how I was holding my cigarette.
That cigarette holder,
Um,
probably.
but literally, like, he had just worked it out. Like, I
The,
was
the fact that you carried a cut glass ashtray with you.
it's that fucking top hat again. Um,
What do you
he
mean?
he's wearing a top hat. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But,
Yeah, sorry, I'm making
yeah.
light of a serious situation, which I do think is quite a queer thing to do, actually.
Yes, it is.
Not
It's how we
minimizing your experience, okay? I'm just.
how we swallow the lumpy muesli of life.
Oh, how true.
Um
I thought of custard when you said that, but yeah.
But yeah, no, my friend really stuck up for me. He was like, uh, really went for him. Like, it didn't come to blows, but he was like, "Don't you talk to him like that," and stuff. And it came out of nowhere, and it was like, why was I in a strip club? It was also the end of it was one of those Odyssey random London nights out many
Mm.
moons ago. But I was just very touched that he did that
Oh,
and
yeah.
wasn't just like, oh, I don't know what he's doing. He kind of he was like, he could be in here if he wants to be and stuff, like really proprietorial about
Mm.
um yeah.
Mm.
And do you find that you are making friends even now, Tom? Do you find that your queer world is still opening up?
I do actually, and I always enjoy it when you meet new people and you go, "Oh, you're a fun person. I hope we should be friends." And maybe we exchange messages, or maybe you go out for dinner, or maybe something like that.
I love that
I
too.
like that, and also I like those friends that you maybe only see at certain events, and you always have a nice chat with them. That's always
Yeah.
lovely too.
It's so I listen to Parenting Hell, the podcast, because I'm a
You're a
parent
parent, of
and
course.
trying to find some, light-hearted advice with and Rob Beckett hosts that, who's your friend. He talks about you a lot on it, you know that?
Well, it's the that's very nice of him. It's the least work I've ever had to do to be on a podcast. I must say, the way he mentions me. No, I don't know.
But he talks about your friendship because you guys hang out on a Saturday or something, and it seems really lovely.
He often pops around. Yes, well, it is very nice. Oh, that's nice. He mentions me. A little bit of profile raising. Um, there without me having to lift a finger. Sorry, I didn't. That suggested I was suggesting this podcast was hard work. By the way, I didn't want you to think that.
Listen, we've been hard work, and I
No, not
apologize.
at all.
No, it's been a bloody nightmare, and I'm so sorry.
Not at all. I've had a lovely. Well, I always enjoy our chats, Chris, and
I love it too.
But I didn't want you to think. I do that. I say a thing, and then I think, why did I say that? Oh, they'll probably think blah blah, and then I'll
No,
punish myself going forward. Do you do that?
I absolutely do, but I also think that that once you reach a stage with someone, they should give you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I
That's
mean?
lovely, isn't it? The benefit of the doubt. I like that. So I think we live in a world that feels like no one gets the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, exactly. And no, I like also go forth with kindness and just go forth with love and like I think there's something about friendship, you know, with the idea that like trust that they're going to love you. Like it's not a constant in or out thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
you are friends and you're allowed to piss them off and don't worry about that. Like I think that's what can be lovely about friendship. Not trying to, but like not I don't know, just an element of like you are safe here, you know?
How
Like
lovely. What a lovely.
I really like you and I think I'm going to take you on those terms and I'm not going to analyze everything you say as if it was an aberration from, you know?
Yeah, I think that's very true.
Trust, love, grinder.
The
So
three.
Tom,
Yes.
the triumvirate. So Tom, listeners, we want you to write in. It's hello@homosapienspodcast.com. Keep this discussion going. Tell us your thoughts on this at Homo Sapiens on Instagram. Tell us about groups where people can go and meet other queers.
Oh, what a
Yeah?
lovely idea. Yes, I think that would
That
be
can be
very,
community.
very powerful. Yes, as I say,
Mm.
I think I was a bit of a shrinking violet at various points, even though I was ostensibly quite outgoing, and I really struggled. So I think, yeah, any kind of sociability thing is always welcome.
Chef's kiss. Beautiful. Okay. Tom, you've been wonderful. This has been such a lovely first episode. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Well, I am always glad to come on board, and thank you as ever for this lovely time. And I'm just grateful that everyone's got to see me in this slightly slouched. I'm actually sitting on a slipper chair that I inherited from my mum's neighbour, and it's a little bit short, a little bit close to the ground. And I have had very bad posture throughout this whole Visualised podcast, and I just want to apologise.
No, you've looked wonderful. So I think that it's time to. I told everyone what to write in. We'll be back. We'll be back on Tuesday with. I'll be reading your emails and things, and then the following Thursday. That's the routine now. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, you twice weekly?
Twice weekly. Tuesdays is kind of catching up with emails and things that people have written in.
No.
Thursdays is sort of main episode, as they say.
Mm.
And that just leaves us with home of community message board. Have you got something you'd like to recommend, Tom?
As a queer-owned business?
Yes.
Yes. I Adam and Dan Ceramic in Brighton. I very much enjoy their china. Their chinaware.
Adam and Dan Ceramic. Okay.
Adam and Dan. I met them when I did a documentary about 10 years of gay marriage being legal, and they got married on the show, and they've been very nice people ever since. So if you want to buy some ceramics, check them out.
I'm going to shout out Queer Brewing in Leighton in London. It is the UK's first queer and trans-owned brewery known for crafty beers and giving back. And they donate 10p from every can or pint to an LGBTQ plus charity. And they sort of rotate who the charity is. They did a thing with they donated to Not a Phase, who are the people we're supporting, with the Erdem t-shirt. And it's a neat full circle, is what I'll say.
Oh, that's good. That is lovely.
Tom, darling, what's happening now? Where are you off to in the world?
Well, we're gearing up for a new series of Bake Off and Extra Slice, so we're very much looking forward to that. And so yes, so that's the next thing really. And my new book is a novel. I've written my first novel, and that's available for pre-order at the moment.
I'm excited about that. So what's it called? How do we pre-order?
It's called Common Decency, and it's available to pre-order on all online outlets. You can imagine the sort of ones that are there.
Isn't bookshop.org, isn't that the one the authors like to
I
talk
think,
about?
yes, tomindeed.com is my website. I think there's a
Great.
link to it there, hopefully. It's about it's about
Sorry, that's all we've got time for.
no, it's about community, I suppose. That's what I'd say.
Hey.
Yeah, so those are my things coming up.
Listeners, stay in touch. Write and tell us what you want us to talk about. We shall deliver.
One.
Bye, and thank you, Tom.
Thank you.